All right, this is the newest edition. It's the Yarbo yard robot. It is a lawnmower, but I don't have the mowing deck yet. This is the 2024 edition. 2023 they had a previous version, and they've made some improvements to that. So this is the latest and greatest, and I mean greatest because I'm not sure anything else is going to handle the really steep portions of my lawn like this thing will. It really is like a tank, and it's built like a tank. I'll show you in detail some of the electronics inside this thing are really impressive. I think it might actually go underwater. Obviously, it's got tank tracks. It's got dual GPS RTK. It's got stereo cameras on the front of every module and in the back, and side cameras. I mean, this thing is made for us tech geeks, and it's also super advanced. This is not something your parents would ever be able to handle setting up and controlling. But it just came in about a week and a half ago, and instead of doing a normal review video, this is going to be an ongoing thing. It took me several days just to get this thing hooked up to the network and running without any module. The Snowblower module was a separate setup. The base has been a separate setup. It's got wireless charging, and this thing is definitely the Cadillac of mowers and yard robots, but it can do way more than anything else. I mean, when I'm up here in Vermont, we'll get 3 feet of snow like nothing, and this thing will be able to go out every hour all night or whatever you'd like and take off a couple inches of snow. Really looking forward to using this, but it's going to be a lot more ongoing effort. So I'll go over the first week in this video, but stay tuned. I'll probably post videos occasionally on how things are going with this. And the best part is you don't even need an app. You can control everything with the PlayStation controller that it comes with. I mean, it's an absolute beast, and it turns in place. There's the tank turn we've been waiting for. So Yarbo arrived on a 350-pound pallet unexpectedly, so at the last minute I redirected them to the office where I could unload it with a forklift. It is split into several boxes to make shipping easier. The battery comes separately. The heaviest is a core, of course, but the nice thing is when you take this apart and take the siding off, you can actually use the remote to drive it right out of the box. So I threw the small boxes in the truck and put the rest in the back and headed home with it. The box for the front Smart Assist module actually has the welcome letter and instruction and all the accessories. That's the first one to open. And you can see that front Smart Assist module in here, as well as the tow hitch and the antennas and the tools and the screws and the power cords, Ethernet cable, plug-in charger, everything's in this box. The first thing to set up is the RTK network base station. This needs a good view of the sky. It's PoE. I put it into an isolated network. Next thing is to plug in the battery. It's 36 volts and almost 1.4 kilowatt hour. Once you power up the core, it boots up and you see plenty of fun blinking lights. Of course, just before I set out to start mapping, I bumped one of the GPS antennas and broke it. Sheared it right off at the connector. I thought I could repair it, but there's no hope. This definitely delayed me several days in getting the mapping and the dock set up. But what's great is you don't need those things set up to use it. You can control it with the app, or you can control it with the included PlayStation controller. And of course I had to take it for a spin right away to see how it handled the steep grades in my yard. In fact, I was just finishing up my Neomo X review video, so I had a great idea of throwing some sunglasses on it and having it pass in the background while the Neomo X was having trouble with traction on the slight hill. The difference in these two machines is completely night and day. Can't wait to get the mower deck and see how it works. I actually made several attempts to set up the dock and start mapping with one antenna. The app kind of takes you through setting up the dock, and it says it's going to automatically align itself, but that never happened. I don't know if this is a bug or just because I'm losing an antenna. I got past that step, but every time it tried to leave the base on its own, it shot off the wrong direction into the bushes. So I continued to play around with it and test to see how it handled the steepest parts of my yard. The slope here is over 30 degrees, which is over 60% grade. It handles it with no problem. It's fun to just watch this thing bomb around the yard. It has a low and high speed going forward, but unfortunately tank turn is kind of slow. Then again, it's faster than Rivian's. Yarbo just started releasing betas of some features in the app, including this follow me mode, where it will just follow a person around. You don't need to control it whatsoever. It certainly doesn't care about the ground it's going on. And you could hook this up to a trailer of wood or something like that and let it follow around your yard so you don't have to carry things. It works pretty well. I mean, I was able to go fast on the side and it lose me, but it's pretty impressive. Another app feature is Smart Vision, which lets you view all 4 cameras live, and you can even drive it around. So you could be sitting in your house and send it off to look at something in your yard without going outside. And eventually I think this works remotely so that you'll be halfway around the world and be able to check your yard out. But I finally got around to assembling and attaching the Snowblower module. I'm actually really impressed with the capabilities and the power of this. The second stage is actively blowing air out the top. On like my 5th try docking, I finally got it to work. I realized I was missing a step in the app that told me to put the dock behind where I placed it, and it finally aligned itself and automatically docked and started charging.
Ready to charge.
In addition to the wireless dock, there's a plug-in charger that I keep in the garage.
Start charging.
There's really a lot to the setup, though. It really took me a good week just to get this thing to be able to start mapping. Look inside this thing without a head on it. I mean, it's really a robot. It's got linear actuator there to change the height of the attachment. Speakers, which you can actually, I think that's a sub as well. You can actually attach the Bluetooth and play music through this, but it also talks what's the status of what it's doing. I mean, there's several controllers in here, automotive grade connectors, but they've like shoved our TV in the top of the connectors. I saw this board down here and I was like, oh no, that's gonna get filled with water. This board is not even conformally coated. This is solid, flat, clear epoxy. So this thing is a beast from an electrical point of view, and it's a full-on. This is really a full-on proper robot. I mean, you got dual motor. These are the summer tracks. In winter, you put on these tracks for the snow literally with studs in them. That's the Snowblower head, and this is the kind of dual camera and light standard head. So it's an impressive beast. Hopefully it continues to be. So stay tuned. I'll get into the mapping and hopefully the snow blowing very soon.